This is going to be the top 10 best classes for new players in Dead Rails. Now, keep in mind that this tier list is specifically only for new players and not just for everybody in general. Or if you're just bad at the game, I guess this applies to you as well. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment below what your favorite part of the video was, or comment below what the class you used when you started Dead Rails was. And let's get right to the video. Make sure to ring that bell. Alright guys, so coming in 10th place as the last class on this tier list is going to be the Doctor class. Now, the Doctor, honestly, is a fairly decent class for new players. It's just the only issue with it is that I do not feel like its passive is that, like, really that good. And this class will not carry you in any of your runs. But if you're a new player to this game, starting out with snake oils and bandages can be a huge plus. Or if you want to, you can actually sell some of the items to get a gun at the start of the game, which will make it a lot easier. But if you're going to do that, I would recommend just getting a class that starts with a gun anyways, like Cowboy. But starting off with healing items is honestly not that bad for a new player because you'll see yourself taking a lot of damage that you would have taken normally. In general, I do feel like Doctor is going to be okay, especially in teams. If you're playing solo, it's also still okay, but there are definitely better classes. Now, coming in 9th place is going to be the Priest class. Now, while the Priest class itself is not really that good in Dead Rails, just because, like, starting off with 2 crucifixes and 2 holy water, it really isn't that great. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the passive of Priest, where you do not get struck by lightning, I think for new players specifically is going to be quite nice to have. And I honestly think if you tend to get struck by lightning a lot and you don't really know how to deal with it yet, I heavily recommend that you guys play Priest so you guys can actually get a run in instead of being instantaneously struck by lightning in your entire run ending. Now, I will also mention that starting off with holy waters and crucifixes is not the worst thing in the world, but I will say that the only way you can use the holy water effectively is if you end up grouping them into a single, like, area. You could do that with a person that has a fast class or a horse, or if you have a horse as well. And I will also mention that these crucifixes here are really good to use against werewolves that spawn early on, like werewolves and wolf packs that spawn near the town that you're going to raid or anything like that. It's pretty nice for getting rid of them, so do not underrate these crucifixes as well. So coming in 8th place is going to be the Arsonist class. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, the Arsonist class itself is not really that great on your own, but if you're playing in a team and you have an arsonist on your team, you can absolutely cook an entire town. Now, like I said before, you will actually need to be in a team to do this properly, just because you have to group up the enemies, and it's really hard to do on your own unless you have a horse. I mean, if you have a horse, arsonist is pretty good as well solo, but definitely if you're playing in a team and you're a new player, always just grab like an arsonist on your team, because it will help clear towns insanely easily. Now, you may be asking, why is arsonist ranked so low if it is so good for, like, killing towns? And the main reason for that is because, like I said before, you have to group up enemies, and grouping up enemies can be somewhat difficult for a new player to achieve. Now, obviously, if you played this game for a little bit, you could group up zombies on your own without really risking dying or anything like that. And if you're new to the game, typically, you might have 1 or 2 people die when you're actually trying to group up zombies. So that's the reason why it's going to be ranked fairly low, even though I do think the class is okay. It's because for new players specifically, I do think that this class can be a little difficult. Coming in 7th place is going to be the Werewolf. Now, I struggled to know where to put Werewolf because I do think that having a lower amount of HP and health, like a lower amount of HP and speed during the day, is a pretty massive decrease for new players, just because you guys won't know how to, like, properly bait zombies or anything like that. I will say that as a new player, the thing that I see, like when I was a new player, the thing I saw everyone struggling with for the most part was nighttime. And, you know, since during nighttime you get this massive speed boost, this massive bonus, I don't know, I just feel like Werewolf is going to be fairly okay as a starter class. In case you're brand new to the game and just want to play a class that's pretty good, I definitely think Werewolf is okay at doing that, but it's hard to recommend it to new players because I do think that the debuff during the day makes the class a little difficult to play. But if you're playing in a team, then you won't really have to even worry about that, and you could just clear everything at nighttime. But if you're playing solo, I will say that you definitely should worry heavily about getting grouped on by enemies because you will be slower than zombies. You'll be slower than pretty much anything in the game. So be wary of getting grouped on by things. But if you want to be the alpha dog, this class is right here, and all the other Sigmas cannot relate. I will also say right now, there is a glitch where during the daytime, you keep your damage bonus. So you will do more damage during the daytime, which it makes this class a lot better. But I'm not sure by the time you watch this video if that'll still be in the game, so don't rely on that. if you actually want to just pick a class that is for you as a new player. So coming 6th place is going to be the Alamo. Now, I've had this opinion forever, and I will keep this opinion. The Alamo is just a very solid class in general. You start with the helmet and 3 barbed wire, and I'm just going to be dead honest when I say this. The Alamo is pretty decent. And in case you guys are wondering where to place everything on the train, I'm just showing you guys real quick as I'm talking about the class. But the Alamo is honestly like a fairly good class, and I definitely think it's a pretty good starting class as well. Of course, there's nothing special about it. It's literally as basic as it gets. You start out with defensive items, you won't die to outlaws as you're driving your train, and you'll be able to hide in your train as well if anything ever goes bad. And as I said before, in case you haven't watched any of my tier lists before, the reason why you put the barbed wire like this is so you could hide in your train and the enemies will die to the barbed wire. Because for some reason they like to go on top of your train. And all you have to do is just move this to cover the middle so you won't actually get attacked by enemies. But yeah, like I was saying before, the Alamo is just a very solid starting class. You get a bunch of defensive items. You start with the helmet as well, which is a pretty big deal for new players as well. And I don't know, there's not really much to say about it. It's just a solid defensive class. Now coming to 5th place is going to be the High Roller class. Now I'm going to be dead honest with you guys. I really don't like this class, but I will say that it is okay for solo play, or it's just okay for new players in general. I will definitely say that this is probably one of the easiest to understand classes in the game, because all you do is just sell things for more money. That's the gist of the class. In case you guys were wondering, all you do is just sell things for more money. That's all this class does. Now, the reason why it's not going to be ranked higher, despite having like such an easy passive to understand, is because the debuff is you could get struck by lightning more likely than not. And to anyone that's going to say in the comments below, oh, it's easy, just hide, this is a guide or a tier list for new players specifically, and they won't know where to hide, or they won't know like where to place lightning rods or anything like that. So I definitely think for new players specifically, High Roller is a very good class because it is easy to understand. You just make more money from selling things, but the debuff can actually kill a lot of new players. So be careful, guys. If you play High Roller, hide under houses or the train cabin, and make sure to grab a lightning rod whenever you can. Now, coming to 4th place is going to be the Miner class. Now, the reason why this class isn't going to be ranked higher, even though I do think that this class is easily, like, I would say it's second on most noob-friendly class in the entire game. It's because you could buy the pickaxe in the store, and the pickaxe, for some reason, is extremely common. Like, way more common than any of the other items. But in case you guys are wondering, when you play Miner, you can actually get ores out of these rocks extremely quickly, and you could technically beat the entire game just by mining these rocks and looting the small buildings. Now, like I said before, if you're wanting to buy this class, it is a pretty solid pick overall, just because these rocks spawn pretty frequently and you will get a lot of money and coal from them. But you can get the pickaxe in the general store. You can get the helmet in the general store, which it spawns with the Miner class. And what it allows you to do is pretty much just see at nighttime, which is also really good for new players, by the way. But like I was saying before, the reason why this class isn't going to be ranked higher, despite me thinking that, like, it's a pretty good, you know, it's a pretty good starting class for a new player. It is because you could buy everything the Miner has to offer from the actual shop. Also, it does spawn with 2 coal, which is extremely nice for new players as well. Alright guys, so next up is going to be the Honorable Mention. Now, if you guys are wondering what an Honorable Mention is, it basically is a class that didn't make the tier list, but I wanted to put on here anyways, just so you guys are aware of it. Now, the Honorable Mention is going to be the Horse class. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think if Horse wasn't event exclusive, it would probably be like number 2 on this list. But because it is an event locked exclusive class, I do think, obviously guys, new players aren't exactly going to be able to get this class. So that's the main reason why it's going to be the Honorable Mention and not actually on the tier list. But Horse class is extremely good. Your bros can ride you, which is always nice. Or you can even ride your bros if they have Horse class as well. And then obviously you are faster than normal. The dev actually re-added passive regen to this class, so there is no downside to this class whatsoever. And you could also carry a cart around, which can double as like a portable turret. So this class is pretty fun to play. It also is extremely good. Whenever I play this game normally, I play Horse class like half of the time, because it really is just a really great class, and it is extremely simple to use. It's simple to pilot, and I do think that if you are bad at this game, Horse is a very solid class. Alright guys, so coming in third place is going to be the Pack Master class. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys, I really enjoy this class. I think it is quite nice. And I will say, I definitely think it's a very new friendly class because the only part of skill that you will need to even play this class whatsoever is going to be knowing how to put this wolf in your sack very quickly so that after you tame it from it biting you, you will be able to just make sure that they don't actually kill each other. Now, you do start off with 3 wolves, which will make clearing your first town significantly easier, but I do recommend that you guys clear out some of the town at least before you put down your wolves, because if you don't do that, your wolves will die like immediately from just getting grouped on by like 5 zombies at once. So I definitely recommend that you should clear out the town a little bit. If there's a runner zombie that starts coming after you, you could put down like a single wolf and then start smacking it with your shovel like this. I just think Packmaster, it's a fairly good class to start out with as a new player. There's not really much skill that goes into it, all things considered. And if I'm being dead honest with you, it is one of my favorite classes in the game. I mean, like, why wouldn't it be? You get a giant army of wolves that does everything you want. You start with 3 wolves too, which is actually quite nice. And yeah, like I said before, make sure when you're actually taming the wolves, you immediately put them in your sack so they don't attack each other, you know. And look at my wolves. They're just absolutely cooking this town right now. Alright, guys. So coming in second place is going to be Survivalist. Now, before I even get started with actually, like, saying stuff about this tier list. Whoa! I'm so glad I was playing Survivalist. Oh, my. Yo, what the heck? There was way too many zombies in that starting area. Holy crap. If I wasn't playing Survivalist, I would have just died. Anyways, guys, as I was about to say before that all happened, if I'm being dead honest with you guys, this class really doesn't start like actually popping off until you get a ranged weapon. But even with a melee weapon, specifically the tomahawk you start with, if you are extremely damaged like I am right now, your tomahawk will 2-hit enemies, which is obviously extremely good if you don't mind like yeah, if you don't mind being low in HP. But I will say, this class really doesn't start, like, getting to go until you get a ranged weapon. So, I would recommend immediately when you find a town, you should probably immediately be looking for, like, the sheriff place or looking for, like, the gunsmith. Just because there are more often than not, inside of these places, you will find a gun, like right here, boom, sawed-off shotgun. And, yeah, this class is just really good. If you're looking for a class just to play in general with, and you want a class that'll last you, like, way longer than even when you're new to this game, definitely pick up the Survivalist. It is easily, like, one of the best classes, if not the best class in the game right now. And, yeah, like I said before, make sure to prioritize getting a gun. Alright, guys, so coming in first place as the absolute best class for new players is going to be the Cowboy class. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it many times more, the Cowboy class is insanely good for new players in this game. It is easily the best class to use if you're either bad at this game, or if you're a completely new player. Now, this is not only because you spawn with a revolver and ammo, which is nice, but that's just something you could do on any class. You could buy a revolver and ammo with any class in the game as long as you're willing to spend the time extra to actually loot the early houses because you won't be able to get as much coal. But as you guys can see, having a horse is a pretty big deal, especially like on the first town specifically. And you could just absolutely cook towns with the horse. And if I'm being dead honest with you, you don't even really need to fight the enemies, technically. If I'm being honest with you guys, there's something you could do with these zombies is where you actually lead them away from the town. And you don't need to fight them at all. Like, look at all these zombies. There's like, what? There's like 40 of them or whatever. Well, not 40. There's definitely more than like 20 to 30. But you guys could do this strategy with the cowboy where you just take the zombies, lead them away, and then look, they'll de-aggro. The only zombies you can't do this with are going to be runner zombies. So you will have to kill runner zombies because their aggro radius is larger. But look at all of those zombies I don't have to kill now because I'm playing the cowboy class. So I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Starting with the horse is like, it's just like mind-numbingly, it makes this game mind-numbingly easy. I already cleared this town out. I didn't even use a full thing of revolver ammo. And yeah, absolutely crazy for new players. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment below what your favorite class was to use as a new player or what your favorite class is now. I really hope this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, ring that bell, and I hope to see you next one, guys. Peace out.